You can't think about my great-grandmother, Melvina Palmer, without remembering her love for her husband Merle. She wrote many love letters and poems to him. She especially loved to remember their courtship. One day, her cousin convinced shy Melvina to go on a hayride party in the desert. That was where she met Merle. She wrote about his most impressive vehicle. She said that he drove a gorgeous green pickup. It was in tip-top shape. It had no brakes, doors that were fastened with baling wire, headlights where you had to strike a match to see if they were on, and a beautiful wooden box for a seat on the passenger side. She really liked Merle, but would never tell anyone. In 1946, Melvina's sister, Ruth, married Merle's cousin. At the wedding reception, Merle asked Melvina to dance. She was afraid, but danced anyway, even if Merle did step all over her toes. In Melvina's own words, here is the conversation that really began it all. Merle said, "I'm going to General Conference in Salt Lake City." Melvina said, "Oh, gee, I sure would like to go, as I've never been to Salt Lake." Heads started buzzing and people talking, and a good friend of Merle and Melvina's was going too, and she said there was room for Melvina. Melvina was so excited, but now she had to ask her mom and dad if she could go. She was too scared to ask them, so her brother George asked them for her. After a little hesitation, they said yes. On this trip to Salt Lake, Merle and Melvina fell in love. They went on a date every night after they returned home. She said that she could hear Merle coming for 2 or 3 blocks away as he would grind the gears into low to slow the truck down. One night in May, when Merle took Melvina to her door, he said, "My parents will be gone all summer, and I don't know who's going to cook for me." Silence. Then he brought up the advice of his cousin, Melvina's brother-in-law. "Clint said when I found a girl as great as your sister Ruth, I'd better grab her. Well, I've found her." Another long silence. Melvina said, "Good night, I had better go in," and she disappeared into the house. Merle stood there for a minute with his mouth open. He had just proposed, and all she said was good night. He got into his pickup and drove away, thinking that he would take her out one more night, and if she didn't give him an answer, he wouldn't date her again. The next night, as they were both sitting in Merle's gorgeous pickup, Melvina said, "I don't know what I'm going to do after I get out of school." The next thing Merle and Melvina knew, they were having their first kiss, and they were going to get married. They were sealed in the Mesa, Arizona temple on June 2nd, 1946, and spent their honeymoon at the Grand Canyon. As Melvina writes, so started the saga of Merle J. and Melvina S. Palmer. They spent the rest of their lives together, completely committed to each other and to their marriage. At their 50th wedding anniversary, their children and grandchildren joined with them to celebrate their marriage. Melvina, wasted from the cancer that was soon to claim her life, but sitting next to Merle, even in her wheelchair, listened to her posterity as they sang the old standard, Always, by Irving Berlin. The lyrics of the song perfectly encapsulated their last 50 years together and echoed the promise they had made to spend eternity together. Days may not be fair always, that's when I'll be there always, not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year.